schalte ich mich noch mal kurz ein. Wir haben heute, Zettel umdrehen, Jesse Lozano, den CEO von Teile, zu Besuch. Ich habe geschrieben, dass er aus London zugeschaltet ist. Das stimmt überhaupt nicht. Er ist tatsächlich in Austin, Texas, weil die Firma sozusagen mehrere Standorte hat. Genau. Das Ding ist, dass Jesse nur Englisch spricht, deswegen werde ich jetzt einfach mal gleich an ihn weitergeben und im Zweifelsfall vielleicht noch mal kurz irgendwas zwischen die Übersetzung, wenn es zu technisch diffizil wird. Ansonsten, ihr stellt einfach weiterhin eure Fragen in den Chat und ich übersetze das dann für Jesse. Ja, super. So, welcome Jesse. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, as you know, you're the first English speaker on our little Mediensprechstunde here.
Yeah.
Free to express yourself in English. I'm going to ask questions once they appear in the chat in English. And the pie talk, I find this a very interesting concept, and I will just take no time away from you and just be quiet now and let you do the talking. Thank you for joining us.
All right, well, thank you for having me. Sorry, everybody, that I can't speak German languages unless it's coding has always been a struggle for me. I'm here today to talk to you about the PyTop, and specifically the PyTop 4. It's our 4th generation device. Can everybody see me? Antonia, am I on the screen? Can everybody see me?
Wonderful, we can hear you loud and clear.
Cool. So this is actually the PyTop 4. And what is it? Well, it's a computer that fits in your pocket or in your school bag, and you can take it home and take it home and work from home, or use it in the classroom. So the way it works is you can take this little PC and plug it into a TV, and it turns the TV into your computer or into a monitor and use it like a traditional desktop. You can pop it into the back of our touchscreen and Bluetooth keyboard, and it works like a regular laptop. Or you can plug it into and connect to this from a regular laptop or your phone. So we've been around since 2014, and our purpose was to build computers for schools and to deliver STEM-based learning. And for us, those two things are joined together. So I'll talk about the tech specs of this first, and then I'll talk about the things that you can do with it next. It's a quad-core, 1.3 gigahertz per core, 4 gigabytes of RAM computer with 16 gigabytes of storage. That's expandable with an SD card. So it's quite a capable little device. It's got the Raspberry Pi 4 inside. And because of that, you get a fantastic open source operating system that we've developed called PyTop OS. On this operating system, you can gain access to all of the things that you would usually use on a computer. So Chrome browser, a full Microsoft Office compatible suite called LibreOffice, Office 365, but you also get a lot of other software that we've bundled on there, like Scratch, and access to other maker-based software. So, for instance, if your students are interested in 3D printing or those types of maker activities, this is a fantastic device for that. You might ask, well, where are these used? Over 1 million students across the world have been positively impacted by PyTop. We're in some of the largest districts in the US, so Orange County Schools Groups in Florida, New York State District, Dallas, Texas ISD, and in schools all across the US, and actually quite a few in California. In the UK, in some fantastic schools like Eton and Reed School, and it's sort of a little closer to you guys, in Germany, the international school in Brussels is a school we just deployed to. Also in Dubai, libraries have a real global footprint when it comes to what schools and what organizations are using PyTop. So it's it's a very capable computer, and it can be used in a number of different ways. One of the key things that we focus on is STEM-based learning, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and specifically coding and engineering. So although remote learning and at-home learning has it's now more important than it has ever been before, you really have to ask yourself, well, what am I going to do with these devices when things return to normal, hopefully sometime soon? Well, the PyTop 4 can be used in a number of ways. You can create interesting projects using this device, and we have add-ons to the device like the screen and keyboard, but also something we call the foundation kit. So if your students have ever wanted to learn how to make a robot or use an ultrasonic sensor or understand how buttons, LEDs, microphones work, well, the PyTop 4 will help them do that. I'm going to share my screen now because part of what we do...
Can I just ask a question in between?
Oh, yeah.
And so do I understand right that the core of the PyTop can be attached to screens and keyboards wherever you go? So say like a school would have screens and keyboards, like all pupils will have a device like that. They can use it everywhere they go.
Yeah, so this device can be plugged into any screen or keyboard and mouse. It can be plugged in or connected to any laptop. So let's say you have a Chromebook or a Windows machine or some type of laptop at your school. You can actually connect this device to any of those devices and control this device from those devices, or gain access to our operating system through those devices as well. And the reason that you would want to gain access to our operating system is the software that's on here, but also the learning management system that comes with all PyTop devices.
Question that was posted in the chat is concerning the operating system. It used to be only in English. Are there other languages available by now?
So it's still only in English. Well, there is a Spanish version, but I don't think that will help anyone wanting it in German. I do believe that there is. There's a number of Linux-based operating systems that you could put onto this device as well. So you can actually swap out the SD card in this little latch here, which has the operating system on it. So if, for example, you wanted to use, say, an Ubuntu-based German operating system, you would be able to swap that OS into here and then gain access to our LMS through a web, through our website.
And there's another question which I think you might be answering soon when you show us the website. Is what is the difference to a hard drive besides the software on it?
So, yeah, so when you use our operating system, then you gain access to software like Scratch coding or Turtle Coder, which I think I saw on the Windows presentation. You also can use 3D modeling software and various other programming integrated development environments that we have pre-installed on this device. So most schools will buy PyTop because they want a capable computer, but they also want to teach their students how to code. They want to teach them about cybersecurity or robotics. or AI, and so they used PyTop 4 and our lesson plans to achieve that. If I just present a window, I will show you how we do that. So with all, can we all see this?
Yeah.
Are you great? So with all PyTops, you gain access to Further, and Further is our classroom management software. It's a learning management system that enables you to gain access to all of our projects and challenges that you can set for students to complete. They are mapped to computer science and STEM-based standards, and you as a teacher can map them to German standards if you'd like. The way this works is you log in as a teacher. If you use Clever, which is a single sign-on piece of software, you can log in through Clever. If you use Google Classroom, you can log in through Google Classroom. And if you do use either one of those, then you can instantly sync all of your students, all of your lesson plans, and everything that you do through Clever and Google Classrooms. You can sync Further with those. If you don't use those, then you can sign up as a teacher yourself and create an account. I'm going to sign in using Google. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm on a different computer. But the way these projects work is you can assign them to a class, create a class, assign these projects to a class, and when a student goes through them, they build projects, they can deploy code, and you as a teacher can see everything that they're doing along the way. A good example of a project, and luckily it is in German, is this chap here who's made a 3D printed robot out of a PyTop 4. So this device he actually designed on the PyTop 4, printed with a 3D printer, and then connected it to his PyTop 4, and now he has this rover with a camera attached to it. So there is basically there's a lot of different things that you can do with the PyTop 4. And for more information, you can hop onto our website. I suppose before we open it to other questions, I'll sort of leave you with this. With remote learning and at-home learning, and obviously computers for students being very important right now in this current climate, it's important to choose the right type of device. And we work with schools that deploy a whole range of devices: Windows devices, iPads, and Chromebooks. The whole point about this is that it is compatible with all of those things, and it can be used interchangeably with all of those things. And the projects that you create with these can be controlled from any of those devices. Eventually, we will get back to normal. Schools will come back together and students will go back into the classroom. And I suppose what you need to ask yourself is, what device is appropriate for now, but also for later when my school is back to normal and kids are working collaboratively again? Well, the PyTop is a fantastic at-home learning device. It's a great computer. It's fun and interesting, so parents are going to love you because the kids will be actually interested in what they're learning, creating sort of a door alarm or a little robot or some, say, a music MIDI pedal so that they can create dubstep tunes. But when you go back into the classroom, you will be able to use these in all your different lessons if you choose to. So you can make a maths lesson very interesting with one of these, or a physics or chemistry or biology lesson really interesting with a PyTop. If you have computer science in your schools, then this is a fantastic addition to any computer science classroom. And it's great for lunchtime breaks and after-school activities. So the PyTalk, it's not just relevant for today, although we are have become very relevant all of a sudden because of the need for home learning. It is extremely relevant in the future in your classroom, and it adds a fantastic bit of, I suppose, spice to your school and to your lesson plans. So with that, I'll leave it over to you guys to ask questions, and I'm happy to chat.
I have a question concerning. I'm just going to read it out to you. Is the device management software available for PyTalk, such as Schmidt.io?
Yeah, so we had mass device management, and if you would like to get more detail on that, then I can have a rep get in touch with you, or a distributor in your area, and they can go through how you would deploy a sort of mass device into your school. Most of the time, we will work with the IT department of the school. So if you have specific obstacles to your, to say your Wi-Fi in your school, or if you don't have internet in your school, we also have options to have an offline version of PyTalk 4 and our OS, and the way that all works. So there are many different ways that we connect into schools and sort of make this device relevant for your school.
Wonderful. So are there any other questions concerning the PyTalk? Yeah. So yeah, thank you for enriching our Mediensprechstunde about here's a question again. So it says, are there schools that are already using the PyTalk? I think you answered that in the beginning. German schools, I guess, is the clarification to that. Are there German schools using the PyTalk?
Yes, some. I'd have to. Germany as a country is not an area that I personally focused on, unfortunately. I know that we have a really large home learning audience in Germany. It's actually it used to be our second biggest country in the EU, and now I suppose it's our number one country in the EU, with the UK not being in there anymore. But yeah, there is a pretty decent sized amount of German parents that use the PyTalk to add a coding education home for their kids. Okay.
The question is not the PyTalk, but if schools are using the Raspberry Pi 4. Is that a question you can answer?
Sorry, can you repeat? It cut out there.
The question is, are there schools that are using the Raspberry Pi 4?
So there are schools, I suppose, that use the Raspberry Pi. The issue with the Raspberry Pi is that it's a fantastic brain, but as with any brain, if you don't put protection around it, or give it a battery, or give it programmable buttons, then it's just going to break, unfortunately. And so, a big part of the PyTalk 4 is making something that's relevant for students and for teachers. Something that can be taken from class to class, put in your book bag, taken home, knocked around. It's resistant to all sorts of daily life activities that you just wouldn't get out of a raw Raspberry Pi. So I think many schools that use Raspberry Pis will quite likely be using them in a PyTalk device.
Wonderful. thank you for the information. I think that's it for now. I will post all the information under our video. And thank you so much for joining us from off. I wish you a nice day, and I'm going to switch to German now. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Ja, vielen Dank euch allen nochmal, dass ihr so hier zahlreich teilgenommen habt bei unserer Mediensprechstunde zum Thema Tablet. Ich glaube, wir hatten ein paar ganz interessante Anwendungen dabei. Ich wollte euch noch mal ganz kurz eine Sache zeigen, und ich hoffe, jetzt klappt diesmal. Ich wollte euch nämlich auch mal was zeigen, und zwar, klappt jetzt. Seht ihr jetzt die grüne Webseite von uns? Seht ihr was? Nein, keine Webseite. Ich weiß auch nicht genau, woran es liegt, aber jetzt hat es zugehört. Nochmal. Ich wollte euch einfach nur noch mal zeigen, wo wir die Mediensprechstunden hin posten auf unserer Webseite. Momentan haben wir ein kleines technisches Problem, aber hier ist die erste Mediensprechstunde und hier werden weitere erscheinen. Also gleich, wenn man auf Aktuelles geht, ein bisschen runterscrollt, findet ihr Mediensprechstunden. Damit könnt ihr auch euren Kolleginnen und Kollegen Informationen zukommen lassen, wenn ihr Teile von dem Vortrag heute interessant fandet. Wenn ihr nochmal weiter irgendwas diskutieren wollt, dann könnt ihr das sozusagen weiterleiten und sagen, hier schau mal ab Minute 12, das ist doch für uns interessant, das ist doch das, worüber wir die ganze Zeit reden. Wie gesagt, die Informationen, die Links zu den Programmen, die in dem Shop genannt werden, poste ich unter das Video, um das nachverfolgen zu können. Wenn ihr Fragen habt, wendet euch entweder gerne an mich oder stellt sie in die Meetup-Gruppe. Da kann es auf jeden Fall sehr leicht beantwortet werden. Ja, vielen Dank, dass ihr da wart. Und wir bereiten schon eine weitere Sprechstunde vor. Und nicht ganz klar zu welchem Thema, aber auf jeden Fall wird das wieder in der Meetup-Gruppe gepostet. Und vielen Dank und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Freitagnachmittag. Tschüss!